Hi guys, this is me, Rusty 78609 in Central Texas, USA. It is 11:18 a.m. Central Standard Time, February the 3rd, 2017. 46 degrees Fahrenheit, cool. Too cool for me to go walking outside. So anyway, I'm going to do a video here in just a second about ice chest versus 12-volt coolers. But I got a lot of comments here, lots. Anyway, some people thought, well, that was an impulsive buy on that. It wasn't impulsive. I just relied on bad information. Super coolers, I'm not sure about that. Uh, you didn't like the idea of using the cooler with an inverter and leaving your car in the ready mode? No. But anyway, there's a lot. You got a lot of comments here, and they're all helpful, and I do appreciate it, all the positive input. But I like to go camping very simply. I really do. I don't want any clutter. I don't want to have to worry about setting up a tent or shade or any of that crap. I don't live in my RV. I just go camping in it. So there's a big difference. And so what I wanted to just touch on is, since I'm going to go back to the ice chest, I wanted to mention a couple of things. One is, what's the real difference between a 12-volt cooler and an ice chest? Okay, well, obviously you got to put ice in one, and the other one is 12-volt. Pretty easy, right? But there's a little more to it than that. One thing, the I'll give you the pluses and minuses in my opinion. I probably missed some. Big deal. I'm not perfect. Don't plan to be. So all you people looking for somebody that's perfect, you missed on this guy. So anyway, with an ice chest, when I go camping, you put ice in and it's cooling all the time that there's ice in there. And even when there's just cold water in there, you still got probably a good day when it's just down to the water because the stuff in there is all cool. So you can get an average for me in the summer of 4 days. When it's cooler, I can go to 6 days. But just an overall average for me has been around 4 days for about a $2 bag of ice, a 10-pound bag of ice. Pretty cheap. The only problem I've had with coolers, ice chests, not coolers, is getting it organized. In other words, you put your stuff in, the ice melts, and the next thing you know, everything's floating around in the water. And, that can cause some issues if you don't have your stuff sealed up and so forth. But I always do, but it's just a pain. I really don't like it all that much. So, what I've come up with, and I'll show you in just a second, maybe, if I get around to it. But I'm just going to get more organized and putting my stuff in the ice chest. Heretofore I've been leaving the ice, breaking the ice, but leaving it in the bag, and then putting the bag with the ice in it in the ice chest because I thought that the ice would probably last longer that way. But in doing some Google searches, apparently it doesn't make a hell of a lot of difference, maybe none. So what I'm going to do from now on is I'm just going to put, say, a few beers in the bottom and some whatever stuff I want to, and then just put the ice on top of that. And then I'm going to have me a little insert that goes on top of the ice that, I can lift in and out that will carry, put my breakfast and any veggies or fruits and stuff. I can put in that container. And then when I get ready to get ice again, I can just lift that out and have 90% of the stuff out of the way, drain the water, put some new ice in, and I'm good to go. So that's about the ice chest. Now, the cooler works great. The 12-volt cooler is a wonderful product, and it would work for me if I wanted to make it work. In other words, if I wanted to spend some more money in addition to the price of the cooler and buy some other stuff to keep it powered while I was uh, out walking or sleeping or whatever and had the car in the off position, there would be some alternate power source. Well, again, that's just extra money, and again, I'm not living in the car. If I was living in the Prius, I may look at some other options, to keep from having to buy ice because, at some point, if you buy, for example, let's just say you average 4 days on a bag of ice, okay? Well, make it 3 to even be better. That would mean you would be buying 10 bags of ice per month, which would be $20 a month. Well, if you went camping an average of, say, 3 months a year, that's $60. All right. Well, if you spend $150 on a cooler, like, well, 170 for me, that's basically 3 years worth of ice at camping 3 months per year. And then you've got a 3-year-old unit, and you may have some issues and so forth. But I just didn't like the idea of taking a chance with the cooler. Well, number one, you had to spend extra money. You had to get either a lead acid battery or some other battery or some other source of power to power it when the car was in the off mode. Okay, and that alternate power source was going to cost anywhere from probably 50 to $200. Am I willing to do that? No, I don't want to fool it. I don't want a lead acid battery taking up space in my Prius when I'm camping. I just don't. And even that little bitty one I had, which would have worked, but it just wasn't designed for that. And, and it wasn't an impulse buy. Somebody said that. I thought that was a little picky, but that's life. But no, it was actually, I went to Napa, and the guy said he had one on his boat and that he was able to charge the unit at the same time that he was powering something else. Well, he wasn't either, because you can't do that with this particular unit. He was just shooting from the hip, and he was wrong. So I relied on that information. And when I got home, I saw that I'd been misled, and I called the customer service, and they verified that you cannot charge at the same time you're powering something else. You can't do it, or it'll destroy the unit. So, and it's not designed for that anyway. It's designed for starting a car when you're out somewhere and you got a dead battery. That's the basic function of that unit. So, for me, a simple camper I am, and wanting to keep everything simple. I don't even like to cook on the road. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to. This is me, okay? This is for me. A lot of people have a different way of going camping and enjoying themselves, which I am totally for, whatever it is, okay? But for me, when I park my Prius, I don't want to have to set up anything. That's it. I mean, the only thing I do is take my little folding chair out and set it on the ground, and that's it. That's it, babe. I'm done. I'm ready to camp right there. I'm good for the day. I'm done. I don't want to pull up and have to set up a tail veil or a screened in shelter or anything else. But why? Because that's just me. I mean, I just want to keep it simple. That's all. And most times I camp, there's a shelter. I mean, not, there's a place where there's a picnic table with a cover. So, that's fine with me. And as far as the insects, I've pretty much got that down to a non-issue. I mean, wear light colored clothing, wear a head cover, wear long pants, long sleeve shirts. And, the insects are going to be, they're not going to bother you that much. I mean, and then put on it, if you want to, you can put on a little insect spray. I usually don't. And the one I do use is a DEET free, DEET, DEET free spray. And it works fine. I got it from when I was volunteering at the National Park Service. It's what they use, and it works great. And, but be that as it may, so I'm going to go back to the ice chest, and I'm going to find out something to use to set inside on basically kind of on top of the ice, not quite. And then so that way I can just lift everything out, drain the water out, put in fresh ice, put it back in. Done. I don't know why I haven't done this before. Well, because I didn't want, I don't know, I just, I've been refining this Prius camping as I've gone along for the past 4 years, and I got to tell you, I got it down. It's getting better, 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 and I haven't added much. I added that little Etexity little one burner thing that with a little propane bottle that you can heat water with, you can heat food with. That's all I need for that. That's enough for cooking and stuff. Because what I do, I buy these little organic soups that come in little boxes, and you can pour that in that little. I've got a little cup that holds a quart, and you pour it in there, stir it around. If you want to add some ingredients, some veggies or whatever, throw it in there, stir it around, warm it up, and you're good for a meal right there. Nothing to it. You don't need a big old cooker and all that crap. And it works for me. And as far as heating water for a shower, I never had to do that. I never did that before because I was always camping in the summer. And you can just set a gallon jug out on the ground in the sunlight for about 2 hours, and that's warm enough to take a very, very good, comfortable bath, shower. And but when I was in cooler weather, what I will do, I'll heat the water using the Etexity burner. So anyway, I do appreciate all the comments, and it was a hell of an adventure. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about coolers, a lot actually, because if you're going to buy a cooler, this is just a thought for me. You do what you got to do. But if you're going to buy a cooler, be sure it has that automatic shut-off feature so that whenever it's drawing or receiving less than 11 volts, it cuts off automatically. So you don't have to worry about draining your battery all the way down. Now, question mark is, can you start your car at 11 volts? I don't know. And you'll get if you do a Google search or go to chat rooms, you're going to hear a lot of stuff. And basically what you're going to come away with, the same thing I did, it might. That's all you need to know. That it just might. And if it's a good day, it starts. If it's a bad day, you're walking. That's it. Or you're going to have to call Mr. Come Fix It to get you going again. But having said that, guys, thanks a lot for the comments. And I'll solve the cooling issue. It's already solved in my mind now. So I'm moving on to the next thing. And that's determining when I'm going to go camping. And that's going to be probably in March, I think. Sometime, probably mid to late March, depending on the weather. Where will I go? Probably my usual places, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, southern Utah. But it depends on the weather. I'm a fair weather camper. Fair weather camper. The weather's nice, Rusty enjoys it. The weather's not good, Rusty doesn't enjoy it. So I like to do things that I enjoy, and so I plan my trips accordingly. And if I get somewhere, I went 1 year, 3 years ago, I went up to Crestone, Colorado, to a national forest and was camping, and the weather turned cold. I mean, cold. It was in May, and it was snowing in May. Of course, I was at elevation about 8,500 feet, and it was snowing. What did I do? Next morning, I got up, and thank goodness I wasn't snowed in. I drove to another place south about 200 miles that was much warmer, and it was much nicer. Problem solved. So, I'm not out there to rough it. I'm out there to enjoy myself. What's the purpose of the trips for me going? Why do I even go camping? The adventure, number one. Number two, to see different new things, And number three, maybe meet some new people. If there's some people around, I'll talk. I'm not shy. I mean, I'm not a total anti-social individual. And, you meet all kind of nice people out there. I mean, of course, good and bad all the way. But anyway, enough said about that. And I keep saying that. Enough said, blah, blah, blah. I got a lot of habits that, people point out. But again, if you're looking for the perfect video, watch mine. That way you'll learn what imperfect is, and then you'll know what perfect might be. But, my old philosophy of, if you want to find out where something is, first you got to find out where it ain't. Dr. Seuss book, I read this. If y'all remember Dr. Seuss, he wrote this. It's called Calculatus Eliminatus. Calculatus Eliminatus means if you want to find out where something is, first you got to find out where it ain't. Okay? So I tried different things, and when I find out it ain't there, I immediately go somewhere else. Okay? But anyway, just remember, calculatus eliminatus. Pretty interesting. It works. I mean, if you've misplaced your glasses or something in your home, calculatus eliminatus. You want to find out where it is? Find out where it ain't. That's it. Because if you've looked everywhere it isn't, there's only one place left, and that's where it is. So anyway, having said that, guys, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, from the Iceman, from Central Texas, USA. Buy USA when you can, and all the ice I'm going to buy is going to be made in the USA. I guarantee it. And my ice chest igloo is made in the USA. And that stuff I got from Cheney, back. So, buy USA made when you can. Take deep breaths, drink plenty of water, walk, stretch, and all that stuff. Keep your health, and we'll go camping in March, hopefully, somewhere. Never mind. I got a lot of things I want to go see. But anyway, enjoy, guys. Thumbs up. Enjoy. Next week up here in Central Texas, or here in Central Texas, it's supposed to be upper 70s, low 80s, mid 50s, starting, I guess, Sunday or Monday. So getting into that weather I love. Anyway, enjoy, guys. Adios. Bye bye.